Big Pastor,
Tiny Teaching!
Hey, welcome to what we hope is first of many small bite-sized segments that we're going to put out every week about different subjects. And I thought it'd be really good at this time to talk about the church and really what it means to engage in the church. We've been away from church for a long time. A lot of folks have been watching it online, which is wonderful. We praise God for the technology of that. But what does it really mean to be deeply engaged in church, to where it's forming that transformative appearance in you, what we're talking about in our new teaching series on Sundays? And so this is the first of what we hope will be a number of segments. And I'm going to go right to the beginning. You know, whenever you want to find out what something is like, it's always best to look at the original, right? So we're going to go back to the first century. This is Acts chapter 2. I'm going to read in verse 43. It says, all the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to fellowship, to sharing in meals, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. And a deep sense of awe came over all of them, and the apostles performed many miraculous signs and wonders, and all the believers met together in one place and shared everything they had. They sold their property and possessions. They shared the money with those in need. They worshiped together at the temple each day. They met in homes for the Lord's Supper. They shared meals with great joy and generosity, all the while praising God, enjoying the goodwill of the people. And the Lord added to their fellowship those who were being saved. So here's the question, I guess. The question is, why is being part of a local assembly, a church, important? What does that do? Well, if you notice here, the very first group says all the believers devoted themselves. It didn't just say that the leaders, the apostles, it was all of the believers. And it said they devoted themselves. What does it mean to be devoted? It means to be deeply engaged in something, really committed to something. And all of the believers, everybody that was part of the church, was deeply devoted to what? To teaching and to fellowship. What's fellowship? Fellowship is coming together and sharing in meals, and including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. This was something that was very common in the first century. People knew how important it was to be together, to stay together, and they weren't just mildly committed to it, they were devoted to it. So I just want to say, you know, I understand COVID is a big problem for a lot of folks, and if you're 65 or older, or you have underlying health conditions, man, please be careful, be smart, be protected. But for most of us, where COVID is not really a serious illness or even something that we're going to easily catch in some cases, you want to consider really being part of the church, coming together in fellowship. I was just talking to somebody today about it, and they've been away for a while, and they've come back, and they said, man, I didn't realize how much different it is watching at home versus being in the body of believers, worshiping God together in the room. Didn't realize how different it was and how much better and more engaging it was. And I think that's true for everybody. So in this first segment, my encouragement to you is just pray about it. Think about if you've been out of church for a while, maybe it's time to come back. Maybe it's time to have that deeply devoted feeling of hearing the teaching, but devoted to fellowship, coming together like they did in the first church. So I hope you watch this. Hope you share it with your friends. Hope you have a great week. God bless you.